This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. You are entering Tara's terrestrial aura. Are you ready? I repeat, this is not a test. This is not a test.
Hey, my beautiful souls. Thank you for joining me in this space. I'm so grateful for you as always. I'm so incredibly honored to even share a space with you, to be able to express myself as this talking head of mine does. And the fact that you all enjoy and you come back and you listen and you express that what I'm doing here matters. So thank you for that. I'm very appreciative of you, more than you could ever know, because I can't express it in words, because that would be too difficult. But okay, so I just wanted to stop in for a little addition to a prior message, possibly even if not a message of a transmission of now. And I just really want to touch on the fact that we are so uniquely attuned to ourselves, and we are so uniquely different and so powerful within those differences. And we really just need to take that energy and embrace it and realize, like, not everybody's going to fit inside of something that we place them in our minds to make ourselves feel like that is exactly as they should be, or whatever it may be, or we should be, however it may be. Like, we're having to move out of the energy of feeling as if someone has to fit in our box, I guess. It's like, you can think that you don't put other people in your box, in their box, but in your box, and you're still doing it very easily, because it's just one of those things. It's like you unintentionally somehow, sometimes, just like automatically assume that someone's going to be a certain way, or they're going to act a certain way, or they're going to behave a certain way. And that pre-assumption is literally placing them into a box off top. So you've placed them in a box by just the literal thought of you, like, wondering or thinking that their actions are going to be a specific way. Like, whenever you assume something about someone, as we all know, it makes an ass out of you and me, blah, 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 whatever it may be. But yeah, it actually does, though. Like, it actually does make you a bit of an ass, because the fact that you think that you have the power to determine someone's behavior before they've even expressed said behavior is kind of ambiguous. And I'm not sure if that's the right word that I want to use, but I'm going to go with it. But it is a bit ambiguous to me. It's a bit like, you really think that you're that knowing of all, that you're going to predict someone's behavior in a way to where you can just, like, assume that that's how they're going to be? And if you think that way, what makes you think that you're that power to create that energy? And then it's like, oh wait, because you are. And your box that you put them in, you put that in that box, or you put them in that box. Absolutely, yeah, you did. And they're going to be in that box. So you're right, because you've determined that energy for them already. So they can't become anything outside of what that energy is that you've put them in, unless they completely break free of it and they completely rebel against you, and they show you that you are not right and you are not the holder of their box. And I personally think people who do that are very beautiful, and they're challenging, and that's an amazing thing, because we should challenge others. If you don't feel like being in someone's box that they place you in, you don't have to just submit and be in a box. Don't be in the box. Show them you're not in the box by omitting them from your cycle, omit them from your energy fields. And this can be taken in any way that you want to take it. It's so funny, because I've recently started to discover how important it is for me to always take a message that I receive on two sides of the coin. Like, no longer just kind of like looking at it like, well, this is my perspective and that's the only perspective that there is. Instead, I'm utilizing the energy of the information I'm receiving, and I'm able to transmit it in a way of being like, okay, well, this is how I feel, but then how would the other end of this spectrum look? How would the other end of this side look? How could the other energy be perceiving the same exact behavior? Could I be that person on the other end to the person that I am interacting with or engaging in, or whatever it may be, or the situation that I'm in, whatever the case, you know what I mean. I'm just referring to a person because it's easier right now. But yeah, so it's like, Whenever you start to flip the coin around and you start to look at the whole view versus just your little tiny perspective and point of view, because even though our perspectives matter, yes, they matter tremendously. They are a matter of our thought, of our quantum consciousness as we are, and the beings and the energy that we produce. But whenever we actually take ourselves out of the equation to look as an overview versus just a view of what's around you at flat level landscape, then you can actually see the whole innate of the situation, the whole creation of the situation, and you're able to see from an overview. It's like your oversoul. It's like stepping out of the energy to be able to step within it, but as itself. And whenever you do that, you're able to embrace and embark on so many different encounters because you're able to see from such a higher octave. And it's not about like, oh, my frequency's higher than yours, or oh, I'm better than you, or this or that. It's not about that. No one should ever be that way, but I can't control how people do or what they say or how they act or whatever it may be. But the thing is, like, we can accept that our frequency can be of a higher octave to be able to hear more pitches underneath of us. And it's not that they're underneath us in the aspect of being below us in a negative context, but it's just a frequency that's not quite risen to the frequency of yours to be able to see or hear the same sound. Because it's like, just like animals, everything has a different way of receiving energy. And like flowers, sun, just things, the way that we take in our codes is different. And that doesn't make it less than for anyone. It just makes it different. And we try to put ourselves in this category of being so similar so much, when it's like, ultimately, yes, we're humans here and this lifespan and in this time, space, momentum. So to some degree, obviously, yes, we have a lot of things in common, and we have much more in common than me and a lion, for instance, would, because the lion and I are two different species. So we're completely different entities in every single way. Versus another human, I can honestly say, yes, we're a lot alike, even though we have nothing in common. Because that's the thing. We have a commonality of being human here together as this human species, as this human race. And it's like we oftentimes forget that, and then we want to separate ourselves and divide ourselves in ways that are so toxic. And yes, I say the word toxic, but I use it lightly because I feel like toxicity is only the toxicity within yourself. So however you see toxicity is a foundation based off of how you're feeling about yourself, because everything's an inner reflection put outwards into the energy fields based on how you feel. You all know that though, right? So back to the topic. So yeah, so whenever we stop thinking about everybody as the same though, because we're not necessarily the same, even though we have a lot of the same characteristics and aspects as being human. But when we see that we are very much the same, yet we have our unique quirks and we have our unique aspects that make us different and that make us whole, of this wholeness of all that is, as our each individual pieces are to make this whole grid, then we'll start realizing that we don't have to put someone in a box. We don't have to be that energy. We don't have to be that way. We don't have to have a control, we don't have to have control, pretty much. We don't have to have control. And I feel like that's something I'm personally releasing, is control, because I've placed people in boxes by not even intentionally doing it, like with will of my acknowledgement, I guess, but still intentionally doing it, because anything that we have tension within inner side of us, then we are intentionally pulling it towards us and pushing it together and making it combust. And whenever we're intentionally doing these things so frequently, it affects the frequency in which we are, and it maneuvers our frequency into another into a pathway that becomes a pathogen of that way, to where it's creating that anguish and that dis-ease within you, because you're holding that frequency tune so hard that it's like you can't release it. And that's a box. That's literally a fucking box, guys. So think of boxes in a different way. Think of boxes as frequencies, as entities inside of you, like energies that you're holding on to, and it's like you're disguising behind them because you don't really know how to transcribe them, but the energy is intentionally pulling you so much to where it's causing this cataclysm inside of your cells. Yes, cells. Think of everything. The solar system, think of it as you. Think of you as a solar system. Think of the cells inside your body as people. Think of the bloodstreams inside of you. Think of your blood as like the oceans, the rivers, whatever. I mean, the rivers, I'd say. But think of everything in a way of not thinking of a normalcy standard. Like, you don't have to live in the standard of what the way the world sees. See yourself as the world and be the world as you become it, because that's a whole thing, and it's a possibility if you believe that you can do it. It's not a matter of if you can do it. It's a matter of if you believe. So remember, if we can be fed lies our whole lives to believe things that are like outside of us, that really make no common sense at all ultimately, but we believe them because we're told to believe them, then if we can do that, can we not make our own form of beliefs? Can we not create our own structure, our own formation of matter within our cognitive like example of ourselves, our cognitive magnitudes inside of us, inside of ourselves, inside of our hemispheric waves of our patterns that we pull? Can we not do that? I mean, because I'm pretty positive that we can. So I'm doing that by being conscious of what I say, how I act, how I behave, the energy that I put towards things, my intentions, so I can make sure that I omit and release inner tensions on things that no longer serve my highest good. And with that being said, that's the message really. So I'm probably actually going to just make this one video. So, all right, love. So one final snippet of a clip-it of this video to conclude today's time together on a real, true ending of notes. I want to thank you for being you. I want to thank you for being so amazing that everything that you do and everything that you touch glimmers with the essence of love. Everything that you are is an embodiment of God, Christed consciousness within the ethers of your now. I want to thank you for being aware of yourself and self-acknowledgement to even be in this space with me, to be able to conjoin our conscious streams as one to flow into this algorithm of our time, space, momentum nows together. Because that, my loves, it tells me that we, our souls, are tethered. And I love you. I'm grateful for you. I value you. I honor you. I serve you by being in the presence of the gift of you, the presence of the present here with you. You are amazing. And if you ever forget that for a moment, I want you to remember this one little thing that I say out of everything today. I want you to remember that you are fucking awesome. You are so awesome. And if anyone ever tells you anything less, then just come back and replay this video, or just tell yourself, because you're worthy of that. Tell yourself, I don't give a flying about what anybody thinks of me, because what I think of myself is what matters. How I feel about myself is what matters, and what I feel within myself, love, is what matters. So feel yourself so fully that you overflow with your cup. Overflow so much that you cause cataclysmic oceans to be formed and new potions of realms to explore, whatever you want to say. Love you so fully. Love you, love you, love you. I love you. I thank you again. Now back to the end of my video. I just wanted to sneak that little part in here because you're so amazing. I couldn't imagine going the whole rest of this night, the whole rest of this video without expressing that to you with all of my heartfelt love and might. So thank you for sharing this time, space, momentum with me. I am so grateful and honored to simply be. Have a beautiful momentum of your now. I'll talk to you soon. If you enjoy this content and you like it, most definitely please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, I'm having so much fun on TikTok lately, so join me over there if you want to experience me experiencing you in a TikTok kind of tune. But yeah, so I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here as always. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. I know that you're like saying it back to me right now, like in another realm of reality, in a parallel to now, because you're seeing this as I'm actually like not really saying it in a live stream to you, but it's a live stream to me. So I'm consciously feeling your energy, and I'm physically feeling it. Hug me with the energy of love, because I feel you feeling me, and I feel you, and I'm giving you a hug back energetically. And we're time traveling right now, because this is like a wormhole and it's a portal, and we're doing all this stuff, but that's a whole other thing. So yeah, I love you, and embrace this beautiful momentum of now. I'm running a bit behind on my Emerald tablet upload, so I will make sure that is to you by midweek. And today is a moon day in this current present time, but when you see this, the timing will be divine. So I love you. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. And thank you for all of you and all that you do. You're amazing. I love you.